Ladies and gentlemen, we're all set to now begin, so I'll request all of you to kindly take your seats, settle down. A humble request to kindly keep your mobile phones on silent, please. And once again, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us. I would just request everyone, we will have a dedicated Q&A time that will be given to the press, so we'll request you to keep your questions allotted for that session. But as always, just a humble reminder to keep your mobile phones on silent. If you do need to take a call, we'll request you to step out, please. I'd request everyone to settle down and also request no movement to happen in front of the cameras. It's just a humble request from our side for the videographers here. So I'd request you to not cross the camera, people. Use the aisles on the side and to keep your mobile phones on silent, please. We in fact do have the presence of our dignitaries now here, ladies and gentlemen. We of course have Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, who is the Joint Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals. We have Dr. Anupam Sibal, Group Medical Director at Apollo Hospitals, also who's here with us. Once again, thanking the presence of all the lovely doctors from the fraternity who've taken out the time to join us today. Of course, lovely members of the media and the press who've also been extremely kind to take out the time and join us. We're now, of course, just awaiting for Abhinav Bindra, in fact, to join us, and then we'll kickstart the proceedings, please. I'll request everyone to kindly take their seats and settle down, as it'll be easy for us to kickstart with the proceedings now, please. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, now welcoming our guest of honor, Mr. Abhinav Bindra, Olympic champion, Padma Bhushan awardee, and founder of the Abhinav Bindra Foundation. Let's have a huge round of applause as we welcome him. Also welcoming Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals. Thank you so much. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Anupam Sibal, Group Medical Director at Apollo Hospitals, to also kindly join us on stage, please. But In the meantime, I'll request all our lovely friends from the media to kindly settle down, take their seats, as we're all set to begin now. So I'll request all of you to kindly settle down, take your seats. It'll be easier for us to kickstart with the proceedings. Thank you so much. A humble request once again to kindly keep your mobile phones on silent, please. Namaste, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us for what promises to be a very, very historic day and a very historic event. As I said, we've all gathered here today for something very, very special. We're all coming together, in fact, to shape out the next future as far as robotic surgery in India is concerned. And something very exciting happening here at Pusa Road at Apollo Spectra. Of course, I'll talk to you all about that in just a bit, but let me just tell you about the milestone that we've all gathered here today for. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, today we are here to write a new chapter for the future of surgical care in India. What you'll see here and around you in just a bit is a new milestone in precision care. Today at Apollo Spectra at Pusa Road, it'll become Delhi's premier robotic surgery center with the launch of advanced surgical systems. Ladies and gentlemen, today with the launch of our advanced surgical systems, Apollo Spectra takes a very, very significant leap into the future, because today with this unveil and launch, we will redefine patient-centric treatment. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, this milestone will also reflect our unwavering commitment to clinical excellence, cutting-edge technology, and compassionate care. We, of course, want to give our heartfelt gratitude and thank you to the teams, the doctors that have worked tirelessly to make this moment possible for each one of us. Today, we've all come together to unveil not one, but two next-gen robotic surgical platforms that, as I said, will redefine and write the next chapter. At Apollo Spectra, ladies and gentlemen, I urge all of you to join us as we step into the new era of surgical excellence. And ladies and gentlemen, this new era will focus on human expertise that's enhanced by machine precision and improved outcomes in high-risk and complex surgeries. I'm Ridhima Bhatnagar, and I'm so thrilled to be taking you on this journey. But ladies and gentlemen, as we do for any auspicious gathering and start, we want to kickstart the proceedings today with the lamp lighting. So now I'll request our dignitaries to in fact join us for the lamp lighting. Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals, Mr. Abhinav Bindra, Olympic champion, Padma Bhushan awardee and founder of Abhinav Bindra Foundation, Dr. Anupam Sibbal, Group Medical Director, Apollo Hospitals, Ms. Rupinder Kaur, the COO, Apollo Spectra Hospitals and Secondary Care Partner Network. Also joining them, Mr. Rashid Imam, the Center Head at Apollo Spectra, Pusa Road. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This is, in fact, a very momentous occasion for each one of us, and also taking the blessings as we move forward, as we rewrite this next chapter, please. Requesting our dignitaries to kindly take their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, to talk to you a little more about this milestone, the kind of work that has happened, and how this, in fact, will impact lives, I now want to invite someone very special. Join me in welcoming Ms. Rupinder Kaur, the COO, Apollo Spectra Hospitals and Secondary Care Partner Network, to join us for the welcome address, please.
Namaste, good afternoon, and Sat Sri Akal. First and foremost, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our chief guest, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, our guest of honor, Sri Abhinav Bindra, Dr. Anupam Sibal, Group Medical Director, Apollo Hospitals, respected doctors, our friends from media, and all the esteemed guests who have joined us here today. On behalf of the entire Apollo Spectra team, it's an absolute pleasure and a privilege to host you on the occasion of Robot Assist Surgery launch today here at Pusa Road. As we all know, Apollo has been serving the nation for more than 40 years, and it's been based on one guiding belief of our chairman, Dr. Pratap C. Reddy, that every Indian should have access to high-quality healthcare. And in the conversations, you will often find chairman also speak about how technology, compassion, care need to seamlessly come together to provide care. And I think that vision is something which has been kind of our guiding force over the years. Before moving forward, I would like to maybe take a minute to talk specifically about Apollo Spectra. So the Spectra format was started by Apollo about a decade ago. And the idea was that so much of care still is about day-to-day issues, your day-to-day medical problems, day-to-day healthcare needs, that we needed a format which is very friendly, it's accessible, it's convenient, it's friendly to navigate, and the patient does not necessarily has to go through a very large, complex hospital environment. So in all the Apollo Spectras that we have, the attempt always is to offer an environment where the patient and the family, they feel relatively less stressed while we address their day-to-day medical needs. I'm very proud standing here today and equally humbled by the responsibility that today we have a presence across 24 different locations, pan-India. We have served more than 2 million lives, and more than 5,000 doctors are associated with us. We continue to grow very fast, and we are very grateful for the trust that has been placed in us. Our Managing Director, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, ma'am always pushes us to do more, be more, try new things, innovate, and she encourages us to push boundaries, and ma'am today is pushing the envelope once more with the launch of complete suite of robotics in a short stay surgery setup. We are not only bringing the latest and greatest in the technology, but the same international Apollo standards of care, the same healthcare in an environment which is very warm and it's very friendly. And I must say, I think the one person who will appreciate the importance of robotics, the precision, the accuracy, is our guest of honor. I think he'll understand that a small micromillimeter or a millimeter will make a difference between a good and a bad shot, and I think we will hear more from him on that. But those are the principles that we are striving to bring with the program today: more precision, more accuracy, small incision, less pain, fast recovery, patients go back to their daily lives much faster. And last but not the least, before I hand it over to Ridhima, today for us is not just about launch of a new technology, and I'm sure you all must have seen many technology launches, but for us at Apollo Spectra, it's more about how surgical care is offered in the country. So thank you all once again, and a very warm welcome as we take this significant step forward. Perhaps if I can request Ridhima to play the AV, which talks about Apollo Spectra a little bit more in detail. Thank you.
Ms. Rupinder rightly said, ladies and gentlemen, that our focus lies in 3 words, which is accuracy, precision, and changing lives and impacting lives. But as Rupinder said, why don't we leave the words aside, but we in fact will play a short video now that in fact will show you what this milestone means and how it impacts lives of everyone who in fact will undergo it. Requesting the console team to kindly play the video, please.
When you're unsure, you look for a place that feels steady, a place that helps the first step feel easier, a place always within reach. Across cities, across India, where the human touch leads. A hand that steadies yours, a voice that reassures, a presence that understands. Every age is held with the same compassion. Behind that compassion, something extraordinary stands with it. A technology that sees deeper, systems that work faster, robotics that move with perfect accuracy, empathy in the front, innovation in the back, two forces working as one. A place that brings you back to yourself. Because healing needs more than emotion. It needs precision. It needs innovation. It needs a team powered by both heart and intelligence. Apollo Spectra, not just a hospital, but a place that cares.
Nice.
I'll request the seats to be put back so that dignitaries can be seated. But ladies and gentlemen, that really is the essence that we want to convey, not just to the people present here, but everyone who in fact will undergo these surgeries in the future. And again, highlighting the words that were just highlighted by Ms. Rupinder, precision, care, because that's where our expertise really lies, and that's something that we would want more lives to be impacted with. So ladies and gentlemen, we really hope you managed to get a glimpse of what the future of this milestone really looks like. But ladies and gentlemen, before we move forward, we also like to take this opportunity to offer a gratitude, not just in thanking our dignitaries for taking out their time, but also a small token of appreciation for them to join us in this endeavor of ours. So we would like to take this opportunity to offer a small token and also have the felicitation of our dignitaries as we move forward, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin with the felicitation of our eminent guests and speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin. I'd like to first invite Mr. Rashid Imam to join us because we'd like to first begin by felicitating Dr. Sangeeta Reddy. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Thank you all very much. With the permission of the organizers, I'm going to give this to our doctors because they're the ones who really do this. Oh my God.
Absolutely. I think we can have a louder round of applause as we join, ma'am, to thank the efforts of our doctors and everyone part who's been working very, very tirelessly to take us through this milestone. Thank you so much, Rashid. Thank you, ma'am. And a big, big thank you to the continuing efforts of our doctors as well. I'd like to now take this opportunity to invite Ms. Rupinder Kaur to join us to offer a small token of appreciation to Mr. Abhinav Bindra, please. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, as ma'am is rightly saying, it's not every day, ladies and gentlemen, that we get to share a stage with someone who's made our hearts proud time and again and made the country proud time and again. So it's really such an honor to have this opportunity. So Abhinav, thank you so much once again. At this point, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Vijay Agarwal to offer a small token of appreciation to Dr. Anupam Sibal, please. Thank you, Dr. Vijay. I'd like to now take this opportunity to invite Nishant Mishra to join us to offer a small token of appreciation to Dr. Saksham Mittal. Let's have Dr. Saksham Mittal join us on stage, please. Thank you so much. I'd like to now take this opportunity to invite Shayan Bhattacharya to offer a small token of appreciation to Dr. Atul Sardana, please. Thank you so much. I'd also now like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Shilpi Arora to offer a small token of appreciation to Dr. Vijayan Gupta, please. I'll request Dr. Vijay to offer that token of appreciation, please. Thank you so much. Once again, lauding the efforts of all our doctors and teams that have been working so hard. I'll request our dignitaries to kindly be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move forward. I'd also request Dr. Vijay to offer a small token of appreciation to Dr. Megha Mittal as well, please. Can we have Dr. Megha on stage join us, please? Thank you, Dr. Vijay. Thank you, Dr. Megha. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move forward. We will now invite someone, ladies and gentlemen, who's built systems, inspired talent, and championed preventive care, and embraced technology, but also most importantly, created a ripple effect of excellence across the healthcare sector. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, join me in welcoming Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Joint Managing Director, Apollo Hospitals Group, a passionate healthcare reformist and digital health champion.
Sorry, can you please call Dr.
Yes, of course, absolutely. I'd also like to now take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Dr. Anupam Sibal, Group Medical Director at Apollo Hospitals, to kindly talk to us a little more about the initiative and our vision going forward. Dr. Sibal, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, colleagues, friends from the media, members of the Apollo family, Abhinavji, Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, Vijay, Rupinder, and the team. It's indeed a privilege to be here with you this afternoon. And you know, this event is very special because we have some special technology that we are going to be inaugurated, but it's going to be inaugurated by someone who is actually a perfect fit for this. Because he's a shooter. Nobody understands precision more than a shooter. You know, he's someone who, and I want to take a minute to talk about him. You know, he was part of our Commonwealth contingent at the age of 15. Age 15. The only Indian to have concurrently held the World Championship and, of course, the first Indian to win an individual gold. And for 10 meters rifle, he had both the world and the Olympic records to his credit. And I think we need to really applaud him for that. More than 150 medals in his illustrious career. So he understands precision, and what we are trying to do here with robotics is precision. Now, who wants to come into a hospital and have a big cut if you can avoid it? Who wants to go through pain? Who wants to be told that there is a small risk of damage to the neighboring structure when you're taking off a tumor? All that goes away with robotics, and that is the beauty of robotics. And when Dr. Reddy, our chairman, talked about robotics, it was really in the very early days of robotic technology. It hadn't really evolved. And of course, now it has evolved to the extent that we at Apollo already have 28 existing machines. So today we'll have 29 and 30. We have a presence at 18 locations across the country where we excel in robotic surgery. We are very soon, by the end of this month, going to reach the landmark of 25,000 robotic surgeries, by far the highest in the country by any group. And we believe that we'll be doing something like 7,000 robotic surgeries every year. So every day there are patients somewhere in the country benefiting from less pain, more precise removal, and an average length of stay, which in some situations can be as less as half. And it makes a big difference. And I'm a pediatrician, and I see this when a child comes in and he has a robotic procedure. Instead of having to give morphine and all the painkillers that we would normally have to do for maybe 2 days, 3 days, and an average stay of 7 days, these children are smiling and so lively in 24 hours, are going home in 48 to 72 hours. And that is the magic of robotics. And I think it's really a step forward in our commitment to delivering the best in terms of technology, the best in class in terms of clinical care, because India deserves the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sibbil. And how beautifully put, right? The parallels that you can draw from the healthcare sector to the world of sports as well, because precision is what we're looking at. Right. And because we heard about a very special guest from Dr. Sibbil, so I think it is just the opportune time for us to, in fact, invite our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen. And I said this when I introduced the show, that it's not every day that one gets to share a stage with someone who's made the hearts and minds of a billion people swell with pride time and again. So it's an absolute honor to have that opportunity, firstly, Abhinav, to have that opportunity for us to have you with us. But bear with me for 30 seconds, because we do want to do this properly, because the world needs to know of all that you've done for the country. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest, who you're going to hear in a short while from now, journey to becoming the first Indian to win an individual Olympic gold and the first Indian to win a world championship gold in air rifle shooting is a testament to his relentless pursuit of perfection. As most of you already know, he's also the proud recipient of numerous accolades, including the Arjuna Award, the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award, making history as the youngest to receive India's highest sporting honor. In 2009, ladies and gentlemen, he was conferred with India's third highest civilian award, that is the Padma Bhushan, and later honored with the rank of the Honorary Lieutenant Colonel in the Indian Territory Army. Today, Abhinav also has dedicated his efforts to transforming the sports landscape in India. He's founded the Abhinav Bindra Targeting Performance Centers, offering world-class sports performance and medical rehabilitation services. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, join me in welcoming the Olympic champion, Padma Bhushan awardee, and founder of the Abhinav Bindra Foundation, Abhinav Bindra. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is a real pleasure to be with all of you today, and I'd like to begin by sincerely thanking Apollo Spectra for the invitation and for the warmth of your welcome. It's an honor to share the stage with Dr. Sangeeta Reddy and such a distinguished gathering of the medical fraternity and, of course, members of the media. Apollo has played a transformational role in shaping India's healthcare ecosystem. For decades, it has consistently set benchmarks in quality, access, and innovation. To witness the launch of this robotic surgery program here today at the Pusa Road Spectra Center is yet another strong step in that ongoing legacy. For me, this moment is also personal. As an athlete, my entire career was built on precision. In shooting, the smallest margin can separate a podium finish from not being on the first page of the ranking list. Very early on, I realized that sustained excellence is never accidental. It is the result of strong systems, reliable processes, and the intelligent use of technology to support human performance. Seeing that same philosophy now being applied in surgical care is truly inspiring. Today, through the Abhinav Bindra Targeting Performance Centers, my work is also focused on building integrated performance ecosystems for athletes, where sports science, medicine, rehabilitation, recovery, and technology function as one seamless unit. In these environments, we actively work with advanced robotic rehabilitation technologies to help athletes return from serious injuries faster, stronger, and more biomechanically efficient. Robotic assisted rehab today allows us to precisely train movement patterns, restore neuromuscular control, and reduce injury risk outcomes that were simply not possible at this level of accuracy a decade ago. So when we talk about robotics in surgery, I don't see it as a distant medical advancement. I see it as part of the same continuum of performance and recovery that we deal with every day in high-performance sport. Whether it is an elite athlete or a patient, the goal is identical: maximum precision, minimum trauma, and the fastest possible return to optimum function. We're living in a time where the very definition of healthcare is shifting. It is no longer about treating illness. It is about optimizing human performance, preventing breakdown, and extending quality of life. Preventive diagnostics, minimally invasive procedures, and personalized treatment protocols are now central to modern healthcare, and technology is a great enabler for this transformation. To everyone present here today, thank you for your work you do in advancing healthcare in this country. And to Apollo Spectra, my congratulations on this important and future-focused initiative. The integration of robotics into surgical care is not just a technological upgrade, it is a fundamental shift in how recovery and performance will be redefined in the years ahead. It is an honor to be part of this moment, and I look forward to seeing how this program positively impacts countless lives. Thank you once again, and all the very best.
Abhinav, thank you so much. But you know, Abhinav, because we don't get this opportunity every day, I would like to take this opportunity, if you allow, to just ask you about some parallels that we get to draw between the world of healthcare and the world of sports. You spoke about this. Handling pressure becomes one of those, right? Our medical fraternity, doctors go to something similar on a case-to-case basis. Athletes and sports professionals do the same. You have the entire world watching you. When you take center stage quite literally, how do you handle pressure? How do you shut out that noise to focus on what's meant to be?
Well, I must really be learning from the medical fraternity, because I'm quite sure that the pressure that they face is much, much higher than we athletes. We are trying to win a sports competition. At the end of the day, you're saving lives. There is absolutely no comparison on how pressure is dealt with. I think the medical fraternity is just more capable of dealing with it. But for me personally, was that, you know, pressure is something that you can't really overcome. Pressure will always be there, whether in sport, whether it be in the medical field. And I think the most important thing is to kind of accept it and learn to coexist with it. I think that is the most important thing. You know, human nature is that when we are faced with pressure, we try and run away from it because, you know, it's simply uncomfortable. But the moment you kind of accept it, you just learn to work with it. And that kind of brings in the best out of you, whether it be in the medical field, whether it be on the field of play in sport. That little bit of pressure, that little bit of extra adrenaline which comes in also helps you focus better, as long as you channelize it in the right way. And that is what we try to do. But as I said, no comparison to the pressure that the medical fraternity, the doctors face. You are certainly much, much more capable than we athletes.
Absolutely. Fantastic answer. And we're grateful to both because both serving the nation in one way or the other. But Abhinav, I have to ask you this before I wrap this up. And then, of course, we'll give a fair chance to the press to ask their questions later in the day as well. But I have to ask you this, Abhinav. Today in 2025, the conversations around mental health are far more open, they're far more in the mainstream. You have sports athletes who are coming out and narrating their own stories, setting an example so that the taboo can be taken away from it. Help me understand, how do you see the conversations around mental health growing as far as the world of sports is concerned? And what would your advice be to individuals or even organizations?
Well, I think there has been a misconception in regards to athletes. I think the world perceives us to be almost immune to any kind of mental health issues or mental health disorders. But to be very honest, an athlete's life is quite challenging as well, because we face the daily pressures, we have to deal with failure, we have to deal with success, there is the pressure of competing, there's the constant travel, the lack of sleep. So there are enough red flags in an athlete's career as well, which make them quite prone to mental health issues. It's just that everybody perceives us to be mentally strong. But I think what we forget sometimes is that before being athletes, we're human beings. And the importance to nurture the human before the athlete is absolutely important. And I think sometimes as athletes, we are also kind of guilty, and perhaps it is similar in the medical fraternity as well. You guys are taking care of everybody else, but I think we sometimes forget to take care of our own self, and prioritizing, our human well-being is sometimes, in the process of pushing ourselves more and more, we kind of forget that. So I think the most important thing, whether it be in sport, whether it be anywhere, whether it be the medical field, whether it be the media, I think making human well-being the heart and center of performance, I think just helps you get the most out of yourself, the best out of yourself, and it simply helps you sustain success for a longer period of time. So all in all, I think what we've seen in the last few years, and I think one of the only positives of the COVID pandemic was the destigmatization of mental health issues. I think it became people started talking about it much more. The naysayers of mental health suddenly had mental health problems of their own. So it kind of became more mainstream. And that is good, and that has destigmatized it, and we've seen that also in the world of sport.
Absolutely. I think that deserves a huge round of applause, because what inspirational tales that you get to hear not every day, that come from your own learnings, and then you put that on the world stage. We'll, of course, as I said, I will not take all the questions. We'll open the floor for questions for the lovely media people at a later stage in the event as well. But Abhinav, once again, thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us, and also with those tales of inspiration as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now that opportune time for me to now invite Dr. Reddy to, in fact, address each one of us. Ma'am, please. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon and namaste. Abhinav, thank you so much for your presence, for your eloquence, for your insights, and truly for sharing so much of what is so meaningful, not just for sportsmen around the world, not just for the clinicians who really appreciated your very thoughtful connections, but I believe for every human being. And that's what I'm going to talk about, being a human being, because that is really the crux of what makes us tick, what makes Apollo tick. It's the urge to find ways to do advanced healthcare within the reach of everyone, to make healthcare affordable, accessible, and available for every Indian. And now, by God's grace and the capability of our doctors, the systems, and the vision of our chairman, to patients from 140 countries. The vision of Heal in India is truly coming alive in our country. And towards that, this is one more step. For accessibility, if you can do an advanced surgery with a robot, with minimally invasive, with less pain, less blood loss, quicker recovery, greater precision, but you can do it at a center which is close to home. That is accessibility. And when you discharge your patient 3 days faster, that is affordability. So to bring that, and then robotic surgery, when we started, when Chairman began this, at one shot, he ordered the first 5 robots, not 1, 5. And when everybody said, please sir, do, let us this thing, he said, no, 5 robots. But with 5 robots came 60 clinicians who went abroad for training, so that you learned the technique of using these robots. And then our 60 doctors began to train many, many more within the Apollo ecosystem and within from other hospitals as well. So that robotic surgery became pervasive for everybody. I'm also happy to say Spectra has another distinction, not only in the centers, but in creating the model of affordable healthcare, of accessible healthcare, by doing day surgery or ambulatory surgery. You're bringing this advanced work closer to people in the most affordable manner. So today they're also launching an Indian robot. So that's a very beautiful thing, because when you start making in India, then you will make this even more affordable and accessible. So today is really a special day on many dimensions, and I look forward to surgical care being widely pervasive. I want to touch upon another point that Abhinav actually pointed to. That is, healthcare is not only about treatment. 55 years ago, our chairman had a visitor from the US who was his colleague and his partner. And what that man did is, he was a biochemist, and chairman told him, David, you're here, I can have a nice party and we can have some fun, or we can do something meaningful. What would you like to do? And Dr. David Golick actually said, of course, Pratap, we'll find something meaningful. So they worked all through the night, and they picked out the diagnostic tests which indicate a clinical problem, because this wonderful system of the human body is giving out signals. 55 to 57 years ago, the first health checkup was done in India, which was the Master Health Checkup. That was done by our chairman. And so the next day, when he invited 50 doctors home to meet Dr. David Golick, they gave all of them this letter saying, help your patients, live healthier, live longer, find diabetes earlier, predict heart surgery so we can give them the right medication or change lifestyle, advise them about neurological problems. And soon he added the treadmill, the ultrasound, the echocardiogram, the vascular studies, the neurological assessments, and now the MRI, and more diagnostic tests and genetic testing to go all the way up to Apollo Pro Health, which is available in the floor below of this building. Last year, we did 2.5 million health checkups. This year, we will do more than 3.5 million checkups, simply because this is another way. When you do screening and preventive care, healthcare is available, affordable, accessible, preventable. And then we take these records and maintain them. In Apollo 24/7, you have your personal health record. You take that record and your doctor continues to monitor you. So healthcare is also personalized. This is the future of healthcare. It's evolving every single day. It's happening minute to minute, because care is moving from the large hospitals to ambulatory centers, to clinics, to home care, to 24/7 ubiquitous access to care on your telephone. And all these, the power of this is if you connect all of them together. Because if you do it separately, it is not enough. At some point of time, you need the advanced center. At another point of time, you need a clinic next to home. Another point of time, you need the home care to come, and you need the device and the ecosystem to integrate. All this happens when the passion is about keeping people healthy, making healthcare available for our nation, for our people, at the most affordable cost. So whether it's insurance, whether it's preventive care, whether it's home care, whether it's Make in India, we will continue to commit to do what it takes till every single Indian has accessible, affordable, high-quality care. And towards that, I want to say that we do have a model in our village in Aragonda. So whether you're operating in a village in Aragonda, in a rural area, or you're doing high-tech medicine in a center in Delhi, Apollo Spectra, each one of them should have one factor, which is the differentiator or the symbol or the logo of Apollo. That is, it's high tech. No, it's high tech with high touch, with that human value by putting TLC in there. So it's our respect for the human being, because everything is about the people. It's our doctors, it's our nurses, it's our human resources, and most importantly, it's our patient. So let me end by telling you why robotic surgery and minimally invasive surgery is very, very important. Exactly 3 weeks ago, my husband had a heart surgery. Today he is in Parliament. He went home on the 3rd day. He traveled on the 12th day so that he could be in Parliament on time, and he's completely fine. Of course, it's God's grace, but it's also the capability of the clinicians and the power of minimally invasive surgery or robotic surgery. So using high precision enables quicker recovery. There is no doubt about that. So finally, healthcare it's about numbers. It's the largest sector in the world. It's about precision. It's about technology. It's about people. But it's very personal. And every one of us, end of the day, would like us and our family members to have the best possible care. And that's what we are committed to do. So thank you all very much to all our team members for the great work, to the media for continuing to raise the awareness about good quality healthcare, and also to every one of our patients for the trust you give us. Over the years, over 45 million patients have placed their trust in us. Today, every single day, approximately 2.5 lakh people we touch every day. So that is the trust of the Indian patient coming into Apollo, which is our most valuable asset. What we are on the stock market, what is our profit, that is not our interest. That patients come with their faith and their trust, that doctors refer their family members to us, that patients bring their most difficult problems to us, and that they come year after year. We have patients who have done their health checkup every year for the last 35 years. We have these people, and their wives come and thank, saying that because of you, my husband is alive. And what do we tell them? We tell the husband, make sure your wife has the health checkup because she's neglecting herself. So this is the power of humanity. And I wish all of you, we're going into a new year. I wish you all a very, very healthy year. If you haven't done your health checkup, please do so. If you haven't figured out where precision medicine is moving, please understand so. But most importantly, please reach out to help create a better world in whichever field you're in. Thank you all very much, and namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. And just echoing the sentiment that was highlighted by ma'am, that it is the trust that we've been seeing year after year for decades together that makes us work harder, that the doctors continue to work harder, and that's the milestone that you will see being unveiled in a short while from now. So ladies and gentlemen, this is that big moment that we've all been waiting for, to give you a glimpse into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments from now, you will see the grand unveiling of the next-gen robotic systems. For that, I'll request our dignitaries to kindly join us in the front. I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite Ms. Rupinder Kaur to kindly join us, Dr. Vijay Agarwal to kindly join us, Dr. Saksham Mittal, Dr. Atul Sardana, Dr. Vijayan Gupta, and Dr. Megha Mittal to kindly also join us on stage, please. Requesting our dignitaries and doctors to kindly join us on stage, please. I will now request the official remote to be passed. This, ladies and gentlemen, is that big moment, as I said, that we've all been waiting for, as now what you'll see is being unveiled as the next-gen robotic systems. I think we can have a countdown of 1, 2, 3. I'll request our dignitaries to face towards their left and move towards the curtain. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as we unveil the future of robotic surgery in India. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing is the Merrill Cuvis joint robotic system for next generation knee and hip joint replacement. Also seeing the SSI Mantra surgical robot for high precision general surgery, urology and gynecology. I think that deserves a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This truly is a new milestone as we now shape the future of robotic surgery in India. All of this happening at Apollo Spectra, Pusa Road in the national capital. Requesting the media delegates that they will have a chance to in fact shoot with the robots in a short while from now. But as of now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite the doctors who've worked so hard to hear from each one of them. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Saksham Mittal, who will be speaking to us on reimagining joint care robotic excellence in orthopedics. Dr. Saksham Mittal, please.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Dr. Saksham Mittal, robotic joint replacement surgeon. It's an honor to share the stage with Dr. Sangeeta Reddy and Mr. Abhinav Bindra. As robotic is all about precision, I will keep my talk very precise. हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे कि how robotics is helping in shaping up orthopedics, especially joint replacement surgeries. To understand that, we need to know why robotics. हमको robotics की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी? Over the years, for the last 40-50 years, many surgeons have been doing joint replacement surgeries. We collected our data and we got to know that still 15 to 20% of the patients were not fully satisfied with their joint replacement surgeries through traditional routes. We inquired, many researches were done, and we got to know two main reasons why patients were not feeling that much satisfied. वो बोलते थे कि सर सब कुछ सही है, मैं नॉर्मल चल रहा हूँ, पेन नहीं है, लेकिन कुछ एक्टिविटीज़ में आई फील दैट निच की कुछ डिस्कम्फर्ट है. सो मेन टू रीजंस हमारे सामने आए. द फर्स्ट was it can be due to human error. Human error मतलब when we are doing joint replacement surgeries, हम आपके जो कट्स लगाते हैं, बोन कट्स करते हैं, वो एक सर्जन अपने आप से ह्यूमन एक सॉ होती है, सॉ के थ्रू वो बोन कट्स काटता है. तो उसमें जब हम वो कट्स काट रहे होते हैं तो देयर इज अ चांस कि 2 to 3 degrees ऑफ एरर कैन बी देयर, और वो एक कारण हो सकता है कि बाद में पेशेंट्स को प्रॉब्लम फील होती है. इवन इन द एक्सपीरियंस्ड हैंड्स दीज एरर्स कैन अकर. दूसरा कारण ये था कि अभी तक जो भी हम जॉइंट रिप्लेसमेंट सर्जरीज कर रहे हैं, वी टेंड टू अचीव अ फाइनल कांस्टेंट एम कि आपको हमको एक स्ट्रेट नी देना है. रिसर्चेस हुई, हमको पता लगा कि एवरी इंडिविजुअल इज डिफरेंट. सबकी नी की अलाइनमेंट आर्थराइटिस होने से पहले अलग अलग तरीके से होती है. किसी का नी पहले से ही थोड़ा सा कर्व्ड रहता है, किसी का नी बाहर की तरफ टेढ़ा रहता है, एंड थ्रू आउट हिज जर्नी ऑफ लाइफ ही इज अकस्टम टू दैट. उसकी मसल्स को, उसकी बॉडी को उस तरह से ट्यूनिंग हो चुकी है कि उसको उसी की तरह का अलाइनमेंट का नी कंफर्टेबल है. लेकिन अगर हम इस एम के साथ चलें कि फाइनली हम सबको एक सीधा घुटना देंगे, तो डेफिनेटली दैट पेशेंट्स में हैव सम प्रॉब्लम. तो वहाँ पर हमारा रोबोटिक्स यूज में आता है. व्हाट हैपन्स इन रोबोटिक्स, जब पेशेंट हमारे पास आता है, हम पेशेंट का एक सीटी स्कैन कराते हैं. थ्रू दैट सीटी स्कैन वी गेट अ 3-dimensional पिक्चर. हम उसको एक कंप्यूटराइज सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर डालते हैं. In that software, we plan the surgery before it is done. हम पहले से ही सॉफ्टवेयर में प्लान करते हैं कि हमको कितनी डेप्थ ऑफ बोन काटनी है, कितने एंगल्स पे वो बोन काटनी है, और इवेंचुअली किस साइज का इम्प्लांट उसमें बेस्ट फिट रहेगा. एंड आपका जो एंड रिजल्ट रहेगा वो कैसा होगा, वो भी हमको सॉफ्टवेयर से पता लगता है कि आपका नी बेंडिंग कितनी अच्छी होगी, पेशेंट का बैलेंस कितना अच्छा मिलेगा उसको सर्जरी के बाद. तो इवन बिफोर वी आर गोइंग इनटू द ऑपरेशन थिएटर, वी आर फुली प्रिपेयर्ड. एज माई मेंटर यूज्ड टू से, फेलिंग टू प्लान इज प्लानिंग टू फेल. तो अगर हम पहले से ही इतने प्रिपेयर्ड, एज अ सर्जन वी आर सो मच कॉन्फिडेंट दैट बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द सर्जरी वी आर एबल टू गिव द पेशेंट द बेस्ट रिजल्ट. नाउ द सेकेंड पार्ट कम्स द एग्जीक्यूशन. जब हम सर्जरी करते हैं तो वी एक्सपोज द नी जॉइंट. हम जो बोनी लैंडमार्क्स होते हैं, एज अ सर्जन वी मार्क दैट बोनी लैंडमार्क्स, and the robot catches that landmarks through a haptic feedback mechanism. Now the robot knows कि क्या बाउंड्री है जिसके अंदर उसको काम करना है. जो हमने पहले प्लान किया था उसी को हम एग्जीक्यूट करेंगे. नाउ द रोबोट स्टार्ट्स कटिंग द बोन, एंड इट इज इट टू मच प्रिसीजन कि हम उसको बोलते हैं सब मिलीमीटर एक्यूरेसी, मतलब 1 मिलीमीटर से भी कम की बोन को इतनी एक्यूरेसी से काटेगा कि जो हमारा फाइनल रिजल्ट है वो हम ला सकेंगे। दूसरा कि जब when we are doing the surgery we are able to change at every step कि अगर हमको लगता है कि उससे बेटर रिजल्ट आ सकता है तो। So with robotics we are achieving accuracy, we are giving a personalized fit to the implant, personalized fitting of the implant to the patient, जिससे उसको natural feel आती है जैसे उसको सर्जरी से पहले थी। Also with this precision we are less injuring the tissues, आपकी blood loss कम होता है, आपके tissues damage कम होता है। So the patient from the very first day, in even 4 to 5 hours he starts walking and he has very less pain. Even in the second or third day he starts climbing the stairs, and in almost 3 weeks he is back to his normal activities. So that is the benefit of robotic surgery that we have. So I hope and I promise that in each individual we will give our best results, and all the patients who are coming with arthritis, they will walk pain-free from now on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saksham Mittal. I'd also like to take this opportunity to now invite Dr. Atul Sardana, who in fact will be speaking to us on enhancing outcomes in general and bariatric surgery through robotics as well. So the floor is all yours.
Thank you.
And we'll have someone after you as well.
Thank you. I won't take very long.
Sure.
I got the cue. So, very warm welcome to the dignitaries on the dais, members of the press and media, and my Apollo Spectra family over here. I started my career as a torch holding officer in a hospital where light used to go away, and my mother being a very senior gynecologist, I used to hold the torch for her so that she could operate in the night. And she taught me one thing. She taught me that if you respect tissue, your patient will respect you. And that is the journey that I have seen through these years. I have seen moving from open general surgery to minimal access, wherein we could be, we could send our patients back home the same evening. They could start walking, they could get up, they could take food very early. And now we are seeing this new advancement, which is the surgical robot. The surgical robot over here, as Madam mentioned, is proudly made in India. It is made by one of my college alumnus, Dr. Sudhir Srivastav. Hence it is called SSI Mantra, Sudhir Srivastav Innovations. And this robot is one of the most advanced robots available today to us, even better than the international or the multinational robots. The robotic surgery, basically soft tissue robotic surgery as we call it, can be used for all general surgical procedures, thoracic procedures, gynecological procedures, urology procedures, and even head, neck or ENT procedures through open docking. What the robot basically does is it gives you two advantages. The first advantage is vision, that you can see a very high definition 3D image wherein you actually feel you are sitting within the abdomen or within the cavity of the patient, and the dexterity we get with the instruments, which is the 7 degrees of freedom. So the instruments actually move as if it's your hands moving over inside. This excellent vision and this dexterity that we get out of the robot actually translates into precision, it translates into less tissue damage, it translates into early recovery, and it translates into overall a better experience for the patients. And I'm very happy and I'm very proud with the fact that of the 69 and 70 robots, the 69th and the 70th are the first and the second robots of any Apollo Spectra in India. We are 24, soon going to be 25, and we are the first to be starting off with the robotic surgery. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sardana, and many congratulations, and hoping there'll be many more added to that list as well. Also now taking this opportunity to invite Dr. Vijayan Gupta, who in fact will be speaking to us briefly on cutting-edge care robotics in urology and renal sciences, please.
Namaste sabko, especially to Madam, Mr. Bindra, to Rupinder Madam, and to my Apollo family. Dr. Sardana ne word use kiya family because Apollo Spectra is actually home for us. I have been with this hospital for 9 years, and this hospital has always treated its doctors and patients like family. And I'll be very happy to share that my daughter was born in Apollo Spectra. Okay, so I trust this hospital for the care of my family. And this shows in the entire hospital and the entire people working here. You will be surprised that this hospital does not work in the conventional corporate way. This hospital works in a very friendly approach towards patients as well as doctors. This new facility was launched recently. Again, thank you, ma'am, for giving us a very good, well-equipped facility. And now we have a new robot here, which is going to enhance patient care. But most of our patients are not concerned about that what is the advantage to the surgeon. See, end of the day, it is better vision, it is better 3D movements, it is my advantage. But the patient only cares about, will my patient go back home early? Will my patient get any benefit out of this entire expense or this entire new technology? So any technology in the world becomes mainstream only when the benefit passes on to the patient. Okay, many technologies come, like I'm a urologist. Urology has always been at the front end of technology adoption. We are a specialty which is very dependent upon tools. But the robot, from the time of its introduction to urology, has made the procedure very easy and very good for the patient. So that's why the addition of the robot to this facility is going to be a great enhancement for our urology program that we are running here. And the main benefits that the patients are going to get from the entire program is that they will be able to go back home early. We will be able to give them better oncological outcomes. When a patient comes to us for cancer surgery, he wants to get cured. So we can offer him a better chance of getting completely cured by using the robot. Thank you, ma'am, for introducing the facility here. And hopefully we will be able to give the results and hold on to the name of Apollo, which has already been doing great work in robotics for the past so many years. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hearing from the doctors, of course, gives you a far better glimpse of what this milestone really is. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, because we've had the grand unveiling of the Merrill QWiz joint robotic system for next generation knee and hip joint replacement, and also the SSI Mantra surgical robot for high precision, general surgery, urology, and even gynecology. We'd like to now take this opportunity to open the floor for questions. The press and the delegates from the media have been patiently waiting. So we'll request you to raise your hands, please, identify yourself, and we'll ensure that a microphone reaches. Yes, sir. Yeah. Sure, sir. Just give us an opportunity, sir. Sure, sir. Sir, we'd like to do this because the camera is also recording, so we'll request this. If you could take this one by one, it'll be easier, please.
My name is Dhananjay Kumar. I have grown as a health journalist with Indraprastha Apollo. Dr. Sibbal is a great friend of mine. SSI Mantra, I suppose, is best in class, only made in India surgical robot. And Apollo, ma'am, it is directed to Apollo, benchmark in Indian healthcare, and best, only made in India. So why you started this? SSI Mantra seems to be hidden in plain sight. I cannot even see it. Why you started this from a nondescript, don't take it otherwise, nondescript Apollo Hospital? You should have started it in Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, because you are, I know you are the greatest supporter of PM Narendra Modi. I have watched you. You support PM Narendra Modi to the bone. But this is Make in India is a slogan given by PM Modi. So why so late, and why you began in such a nondescript hospital of Apollo?
Thank you for that question, sir.
One more.
Sir, let's take one question at a time.
One more. Will it bring down, will SSI Mantra bring down the cost of surgery in Apollo Hospital?
Sure. Thank you, sir, for that question.
Sir, let me begin by congratulating you on your tremendous career in journalism. I've seen you before at many conferences. The reason that this is here today is because the very first robot which came into the country, and at that time we had to have, you know, the most advanced, technically proven best robot, is already in Indraprastha, probably 6-7 years ago. Right, Anupam? 7 years? 8 years ago. And that's why, if you were listening carefully, Dr. Anupam Sibal, our medical director, has told you, we've already finished 25,000 surgeries, and all our main hospitals already have a robot. So that is one point. But the second point why it's very important that it's in a place like Spectra is because in ambulatory surgery and in smaller facilities, if you can do a surgical procedure or a technique, and I want to add this one point, the robot is not operating. Our doctors are operating. The robot is assisting in the precision and in the access. So enabling doctors in every center, whether it's large or small, to have a robot to enhance productivity is really the mantra. And only now has a viable Indian option come, and therefore this timing is now. So that answers that question. And of course, we're very happy that it's made in India, and the prices will come down, not only of the machine, but also the consumables that go with the robotic machine. So these are being discussed right now. It will definitely be cheaper than an international one. But also I must say that this is the evolution stage. The Indian robot can do certain procedures. It cannot do everything that the international one, but it's evolving. So we must use the right technology in the right place for the right procedure and continue to improve. That's what we're doing right here.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Can I see? Yes, you have a mic. Please go ahead.
I'm a health journalist, and my question to Abhinav Bindra, Mr. Abhinav, actually अभी precision की बात हो रही थी. आप जब मैच से पहले और मेंटल हेल्थ की भी बात हो रही थी, तो जब आप मैच स्टार्ट होता था आपका, तो उससे पहले आप मेंटली अपने आप को रीसेट कैसे करते थे? आपका मेंटल आगे प्रिसिशन से आप शूटिंग कर पाए?
Well, पहली बात तो डर लगता था. But most importantly, I think it is about living in the present moment. I think आपका जो सवाल है is more to do with mental performance and all of that. I think it is all about learning to live in the moment. Whether you are on the field of play, whether you're doing a surgery, it is about really having the focus to remain present at that moment and at that given time. And that is what one tries to do. But it is something that you have to work on. It is something that you kind of build. It is something that you train for, and it's a practice of mindfulness that you try and practice on the field of play, but also outside the field of play. Because what you do outside the field of play, you bring to the field of play. So that is what I try to do, and simply try to remain in the current moment, in the present moment, not looking at the future, because that was imagination, and not looking in the past, which were memories, but trying to remain true to the only reality, which was the here and now.
And the second question, it's the last question from my side. आपने इंजरी की बात की थी, तो आप इंजरी कम से कम हो, उसके लिए आप एथलीट्स को क्या एडवाइस देंगे?
ये आपका अच्छा सवाल है. I think injuries are part and parcel, almost inevitable sort of a situation in an athlete's career. But I think what we've been hearing a lot today is also the aspect of preventive healthcare. Usi tarah in the area of sport as well, there is a lot of focus on injury prevention. So rehabilitation to actually prevent injuries. When an athlete, most sports बहुत asymmetrical होते हैं. Asymmetrical का मतलब there is more load on one side of the body than the other, which means that a body will always be imbalanced. And in order to kind of prevent injuries, you have to do a lot of work to balance, to find balance in the body again. Recover the sides which are being overused, strengthen the side which is becoming weaker, to bring symmetry back into the body, because that helps you then prevent injury. So injury prevention, I think, is a very, very important element of an athlete's training. It's not कि खाली आप injury को focus on it जब आप injured हो जाओ, but the real work has to go on trying to prevent it.
Abhinav,
If I might just comment on what Abhinav said and your question on preparing from a medical point of view, and doctors increasingly now realize and actually practice this in the power of prayer. You just close your eyes for 30 seconds before you start a procedure, you touch a patient, you do a surgery, and realize that you are mere instruments in his hands, and you say that little prayer for the well-being of your patient, and after the procedure is done or after you've stopped examining the patient, you say thank you that it went well. There is immense value in the power of prayer.
Abhinav,
Beautifully put, Dr. Sibal, beautifully put.
Abhinav, we always listen and talk about the top quality of medical facility to the sport person. But what are your thoughts on the medical support provided at the grassroots level, at school or college level? We often see if a sporting championship is going on, they even don't have the first aid box also. So what are your thoughts on providing top-class medical facilities at the ground level?
No, I think you make a valid point, and I think we need more focus on that. We need more effort to go into grassroots development. And I think things are improving step by step. I think it is an evolution that is happening. I'm not saying that everything on the grassroots level is perfect, nowhere near that, but I think there is positive work happening on addressing it, on building systems at all levels, not just elite level, but also at the grassroots level. But I think, you make a very important point that, I think it's also a lot of work of education. Providing the basic healthcare facilities, etc., that are there, but it's also education, building the ecosystem, capacity building of professionals at all levels, not just at the elite level, but also having the capacity to place professionals at the grassroots level. So it is something which is very, very important, and it is certainly important that more and more focus also happens in parallel to the work that we are seeing at the elite level.
Lovely. I think we'll take one last, and I think the doctor has a question. Please.
I have a question for Dr. Sibal over here. As we know, SSI Mantra is here with their slogan to democratize robotic surgery, and our 24 so-called nondescript Apollo Spectras. How soon can we see these being rolled out in all other centers, the SSI Mantras or the other robots? Do we have a plan for that?
See, when Dr. Reddy, established Apollo Hospitals in 1983, and if you look at our mission statement, it talks about delivering healthcare excellence to all, and maintaining a leadership position in research and academics. And he thought of this in 1983 when he described clinical excellence, and it was 25 years later that an actual definition of clinical excellence was first reported in Mayo Proceedings. So when, for the benefit of humanity, it has to go down to smaller hospitals, to smaller centers. And in fact, one of the reasons why Apollo has always built hospitals, because Chairman has always said that when you buy a hospital and change the name, it doesn't benefit the country. It benefits the country when you build. But for that, as Ms. Sangeeta said, we need more clinicians who are well trained, and that is happening. The younger generation is very quick to learn. And as we can build more and more clinicians with the capability, we will. Buying technology is easy. Developing the skill set through the learning curve is harder. And you have to marry the two, and that's what we've learned. And we are actually going to move forward in that direction, because why should the level 2 cities not have robotics? And they will, because India is progressing at a pace that is unprecedented. We have 80 cities with a population of more than 10 lakhs. So why shouldn't we get robotics there? And we will.
But Dr. Saab, the answer to your question is it depends on how well all of you do. So
of course.
Thank you so much.
Clinically and numbers both.
No pressure.
We just spoke about handling pressure. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the lovely delegates of the press as well. But before we officially wrap, we do have the official vote of thanks by Dr. Vijay Agarwal, Director of Medical Services, Apollo Health and Lifestyle.
It's indeed a pleasure to extend vote of thanks to all those who made this a reality. First and foremost, our own Dr. Sangeeta Reddy, whose visionary leadership and constant belief in technology's power to heal has inspired us to take this step. We are equally honored by the presence of Mr. Abhinav Bindra, India's first individual gold medalist. Sir, your words resonated with our mission to combine human expertise with robotic precision to provide better care to our patients. Special expression of gratitude to Dr. Anupam Sibal. He has been a friend, philosopher, and guide in everything we do. To our doctors, successful event. And thank you, everyone. And let's look forward for many more transformative journeys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll request everyone now to come together for a group picture as we wrap this momentous occasion with our dignitaries, please. Sure. Sure. Thanking our dignitaries. Sure. We'll get the dignitaries with the machines and robots, please. Ladies and gentlemen and delegates of the media, once again, thanking each one of you for your presence. You can join us for gala lunch. This is happening at the ground floor. I'll just confirm this once again. Yes, this is happening at the ground floor. Do join us for lunch before you go. Your support means a lot to us. So thank you once again for taking out the time and joining us, please. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting you to join us for lunch, which is happening at the ground floor. So we'll request all of you to join us for lunch. Your presence and support means a lot to each one of us. So thank you once again for taking out the time.